I've done half an hour, just cut around the outside of the plot and did a tiny bit of strimming, so 30 minutes and I'm done in. My back's done in. I'm trying to do stuff because I can't just sit around feeling sorry for myself, but 30 minutes and then being out of the game is not good, is it? Means I've got a bit of a way to go. It's good to get out though. It's definitely coffee time. It would be tea time after getting all that Yorkshire tea, but I'm currently on a challenge at the range. So the range is a UK, I think it's only UK based. It's like a bit of everything. I call it jack of all trades store. So they sell like sofas, wardrobes, a lot of garden stuff, a lot of seasonal stuff. So like Halloween and Christmas, they definitely have a lot of Christmas stuff. They've already got Christmas stuff in there now, which is unbelievable. I think it's a bit much in it. I mean, we're at we literally just started October. We've not had Halloween yet, and they've got their Christmas stuff up. But they also do a freezer range, and they do a limited amount, as I found out yesterday, a limited amount of fresh food and fridge foods and stuff like that. I knew they had freezer food because me and Vicky sometimes go in there and grab some of the stuff. They do some nice stuff in there. But I didn't really check before to see if they had fresh stuff. They do. It's not a massive amount. It is very expensive. You'll find out this Tuesday coming. So this, if you're watching this on release on Sunday, it'll be Tuesday's release. But you'll see what I mean when I say it's expensive. They do a lot of brand deals. So they've got like Iceland food in there, which was helpful. But they've also got like TGIs and Cathedral City cheddar. I've got some interesting stuff. I've got some nice stuff nice food, but one of the constraints for the challenge is I have to have my drinks as well. Sorry, there's a massive spider just ran across the window. And I bought these little sachets. So I've got these little Nescafe 3-in-1 caramel. Don't know why I'm showing you because I've got the camera facing the wrong way. But it's a 3-in-1 caramel coffee. So it's got like a caramel sweetener and a creamer powder, milk powder, and then the coffee itself. So let's just quickly make a coffee and then we can have more of a natter. So I'm looking for a nice vintage tin so I can bring down my new supply of Yorkshire tea and keep it in a tin down here. Probably use some powdered milk because it will keep as well. So I'm going to keep my eye out on vintage. I don't want to buy a new one. I like the old school stuff. And I was looking at the Yorkshire tea tins, but people want 30 quid for an old one which is all dented. That would have been cool. I'm sure I'll find a little retro tin. I'm just using my jet boil stove. Just plugs in like that. Stick it on a tripod. This is the one I take fishing all the time. You keep an eye on that while I sort the cup out. Going to leave that lighter down here as well because I keep forgetting that I need a lighter for my stove. Nearly there, look. Actually, I'm going to stick some of this on in a minute as well. I think I need to find a channel sponsor for deep heat for my bad back. So I'm burning through this stuff every time I move around. I swear the tubes have got smaller as well. Look at that for £6. There we are, she's boiling. So it takes roughly about a minute, which is ideal when you're out camping or you're fishing. Turn her off. Leave that to cool down. Ah, didn't bring a spoon. What have I got? Right, remind me, 2 things I need to bring with me now. I need to bring a spoon, and I do ideally want to bring my cooktop stove, and then a frying pan, and I'll probably need to get a new camping kettle. Too many things I want to get. Yeah, right, okay. I'm going to go look in the car, see if I've got a spoon. Right, no spoon, not my proudest moment, but I'll just use the end of a biro. Needs must. Can you hear the Canada geese going overhead? There's loads of them. In the midst of cutting the grass, doing the strimming, I found the old 46A sign. Just going to give that a rub down while I let the coffee cool. Tell you what, that deep heat stuff is worth its money. I know I moaned about the size of the tube, but my back is burning right now. That's helping take my mind off the back pain. That'll do before I buy a new one. Got a couple of rusty screws in it, but we'll see if we can take them out. So yeah, it's been another week this week of me just feeling sorry for myself. I will snap out of it, I promise. But as it stands at the moment, it's just been a bit of a struggle. I am going to take you back home and show you the dehydrator because I want to get some mushrooms in there, see if we can do some mushrooms. That'll be the next thing we dehydrate. I'll share with you the yeah, use your words, Carl. The proper hydroponics. There we go. Wowzers, made that harder than it needed to be. I will share with you the hydroponic system. Every single thing I put in there, the basil, the chard, the rocket, the lettuce, has come up. Some of it came up on day 4. Day 3, day 4. Couldn't believe it. We're now day 6. And it's all come up, which is incredible. So I'll definitely share that with you guys. And then that'll be it. Until I get myself back on form, I can't really do much more. I did have a go at cutting the grass. That was good. And that McAllister battery powered mower, it's 18 volt, was from B&Q, 100 quid. And the Strimmer was 60 quid. I had some birthday money left over, so picked them up. They're definitely, see, I took a long time looking for a battery powered Strimmer or mower because there's so much conflicting information. I did look at Amazon. Amazon's a tricky one because of all the different reviews you get on there. I ended up going to B&Q so I could actually physically look at stuff. Sometimes that's your better option, isn't it? Just to go physically check something out. And there was a couple in that £100 price range. And I just went for the McAllister. I got the Strimmer as well, so that's me sorted for keeping on top because it is my responsibility. So as an allotment holder, it is your responsibility to cut your half of the paths around the plot. And I could have just tried using the Strimmer, but I'd have been here all day and it probably would have done my back no favours. So having that mower and, you know, blasting around with that mower, and it's lightweight as well, so even lighter than my fly mower at home. So yeah, happy with that. So if you're looking for I don't think they do them on Amazon anyway. I haven't even looked, but I don't think McAllister's on Amazon. But if you're looking for a allotment battery powered set like I was, and it's taking you a while to make a decision, I recommend McAllister so far. But you'll see me using it throughout the season, so let's see if it lasts, shall we? So on initial impressions, I recommend the McAllister, but to be concluded. While I was doing that, I just managed to get those little screws out. I'm going to see if I've got some screws, because I quite like to put 46A back up on the shed now that I found it buried in the grass. Gonna go home in a minute, and then this afternoon, if my back's up to it, I might do the next recording of Soup of the Week. So it's going to be a French onion or broccoli and Stilton. I haven't made my mind up. Those are the two. So I've just let it out and so if you watch this, you're getting a sneak preview. I'm doing broccoli and Stilton, and I'm doing a French onion soup. They're the next ones. So we've had the chicken mulligatawny, we've had the cream of tomato and the mushroom. I'm doing broccoli and Stilton and French onion. I've never tried French onion. So French onion's actually new, so I'll be sharing the recipe as I try it. And there's loads of ways of doing it, but all of them say that you need a lot of onions, which is amazing, because if you've got a glut of onions from your harvest, from your allotment and stuff like that, it's a good way of using them up. I think it's 1 kilogram of onions. But yeah, I hope you've had a good week so far. Thank you so much for all the support on the channel. I'm very close to 20k, which blows my mind. I didn't even expect to get to 1,000 when I started this. So I'm really grateful for that. Grateful for my channel members, and for everyone who's recently jumped onto my Amazon wish list to send me stuff. Thank you so much. It really is appreciated. It's like I always say, I always maintain, it's not necessary, but it's much appreciated. So thank you. Thank you for that. And hopefully next week, back permitting, I'm trying to get myself back to work. I might try and do a little bit of painting in here, but we'll see how we go. Right, for this week's dehydrator adventure, that's what I'm going to call it, because every week we're going to do something different with the dehydrator. So we'll have the allotment, the dehydrator, and the hydroponics, and probably a load of other things as we go along. I'm going to do some mushrooms. Now mushrooms, I absolutely love mushrooms, eat mushrooms all the time. A few people mentioned about foraging. I'm not at that part of my life where I'm confident. If I had a bit of spare time, if I dared to dream about doing YouTube full time, I think I'd go on some courses, actually get some trained professionals to teach me how to harvest mushrooms, what ones are safe, what ones are dangerous. I'm not at that place where I trust myself enough. I'll end up dead, and I want to stick around. Right, what are we doing? Talking rubbish. I've got a load of shiitake mushrooms here. I love shiitake mushrooms. I've got a load of mixed mushrooms here. So I picked these ones up from Asda's. They don't look too bad considering they were discounted. These ones weren't discounted. I just wanted a load of shiitakes. These ones are king oyster, shiitake, and standard oyster. So we've got a load there. And then I've got some bottom of the fridge dwelling mushrooms, which I've seen slightly better days. Got some standard white button mushrooms, portobello mushroom, and a couple of chestnuts. I thought we could slice all these up, chuck them all in a dehydrator, and see how we get on this week with dehydrated mushrooms, because they're great to add to noodles. They'd be great to add to, this one's pretty much dry already. They'd be fantastic to add to soups. We did a soup recently for Soup of the Week, in which we added mushrooms, dried mushrooms. I've got some dried mushrooms here somewhere. I've got some shop bought dried mushrooms, which I keep in this jar. But it'd be nice to dry out and make some of our own. They had a really nice, like, umami flavour to things. So I'm going to slice all these down, and we're going to load up the dehydrator and see how long it takes to dehydrate the mushrooms, and then we can store them in a jar. I've been out and bought some nice jars. I went to the range for a challenge I've done this week. Just finished the challenge, and I'll show you the jars, 2 seconds. Got these nice little jars here with a lid. Thought these would be good for storing some of our dried produce and then putting them on a shelf, because I actually do quite like the look of dried products. So we're going to lay these out on a tray. Someone mentioned a good tip. Now, I like using different types of mushrooms, but they mentioned a good tip. You can buy from Asda's the pre-cut button mushrooms, white mushrooms, and that they would make a good way of... It's quite a thin one there, isn't it? Might put him in as it is. They're quite a good way of just being able to chuck mushrooms in straight away without any prep work, and then you can dry them out and then use them as and when. Might slice these down the middle actually. Yeah, we'll do some slivers, because I'm wondering if that's got quite too much of a mass and that it would take longer to dry in the middle. Pretty much filled the first tray up already. So that's the first tray of mushrooms going into the dehydrator. Right, let's have a look at these shiitake mushrooms. I'm going to take the stems off. Mushrooms are glorious looking, aren't they? I absolutely love mushrooms. Look at this one. Super cool. Missed the trick. I could have done waffling of the week whilst doing these mushrooms. I think I'll save that for a coffee down the allotment tomorrow and then get it uploaded. But mushrooms have definitely been on the top of my list when it comes to things I want to play around with. I think as I get a little bit more confident, we've done the chilies, types of chilies. We've done the shallots from the allotment. And I've got a few of the courgettes left, but they'll be gone by the end of today because I'm having them for my lunch. I think we're going to start looking at some fruit jerky, doing some jerky in the dehydrator. Lots to do, lots to experiment with, and then it gives us a head start practicing, getting a bit more experienced, ready for next year when we go full swing into the allotment growing. Because obviously I only picked up the allotment a couple of months back. Start saving these trays for collecting produce down the allotment. I'll take them down with me tomorrow. I need to use a mesh tray because I'm not using any small parts, small pieces. And someone said only use them when you've got things which can potentially fall through the gaps, because it can affect the airflow, which then obviously affects the amount of time it takes to dehydrate. I reckon I'm going to fill at least 3 trays up with mushrooms today. Peyton's going to love these in her noodles, because I'm always using dried mushrooms in noodles. You can buy them. You can also buy mushrooms in oil. In the half term, we're going to do a week eating from an Asian supermarket, just food from an Asian supermarket. Peyton's super excited, and I think we're going to do a lot of ramen. I'll try and make it exciting and use some unique and weird things. She also wants some of the crab and some of the meat stuff, which you don't normally get in other places. Probably get some confectionery as well, just to add to it. Right, so that's that done there. Just got one more lot to chop up. I'd be interested to know what everyone else is using their dehydrators for. What's your favourite things for dehydrating? Is there anything that you found particularly difficult when it comes to dehydrating? Like, is there certain foods? I thought personally that tomatoes would be the tricky one, because they're very moisture rich. Cucumber as well. I mean, the courgettes did okay, but they don't hold as much water as a cucumber. I thought, yeah, so it's like the softer fruits. I know that people do lemons and limes. That's definitely something I want to try. But it would be interesting to know other people's experiences. We have got our Discord channel for preserving and dehydrating, and I know there's a few of you who are on the Discord and you use your dehydrators. Or are you planning to get one? Is there something in particular that you guys want to learn to dehydrate or practice dehydrating? Are any of you out foraging at the moment? Because we are in autumn now, so it is kind of peak season for foraging, especially in the New Forest. Now, like I was saying, if I was confident enough, and I will get on and do some training, this is an area which is renowned for mushroom pickings. Those of you who watch Atomic Shrimp, you already know that I'm heavily influenced on my channel because I've watched Atomic Shrimp for absolutely years. Massive fanboy of him. But he lived not very far away from where I live now, but he's obviously moved down to Somerset. But he used the same forest areas and went to the same places that I have access to. And he did a fantastic job of finding mushrooms each year. New Forest is definitely a good place for mushroom hunting. And there are a few courses in the local area. Vicky keeps saying she'll sort one out for my birthday, but it's just time. I'm investing all my free time into YouTube, the kids' sports clubs, making sure I get things done around the house so Vicky can focus on her university work. That's another tray complete. Fourth and final tray. Then we'll get these on and then we'll come back probably by tomorrow. Because things are taking a bit longer than they say in the book. So I look things up, or I look them up online, and they give you a temperature range and then they give you a guide for how long. But I've found that everything I've done so far has gone beyond the expected time, which is fine. It's more of a case of keeping an eye on things and then I'll learn. So I know that for my courgettes, which came out really crispy, they need at least 11 hours, 10, 11 hours. And again, the peppers took a lot longer as well. And the shallots, I need to slice them thinner. But I do have a new toy when it comes to slicing stuff. I'll show you in a second. So I've got 4 glorious trays of different types of mushrooms. Just switch that on. Right, so from what I can read online, we can do them at 55 degrees Celsius, and then we can do them for 3 hours. That's what it takes apparently for the mushrooms, but we're going to go in at 3. And we'll see how they look after that amount of time. And if they take longer, they take longer. Right, while that's doing, I'll just show you what the gadget I picked up is. So for $9.99, I picked up a vegetable cutting chopper. Super sharp stainless steel blades. So it's got various different slicing and chopping systems. You can cube things. So it's got a dicing blade. It's got egg white separator, which will be interesting to see. A ricing blade, grating blade, a couple of grating blades, a slicing blade, a crinkle cut blade, which I would have liked to use and I will use for future courgettes because I think that's going to be better for holding some of the herbs and spices. It's got a colander to hold the stuff, a cleaning brush, a safety slicing guard thing, and some blade storage containers. Well, yeah, this is what it looks like. I used it the other day to slice some apple really thin to put on some toast. So we'll see how we get on with that. That was £10 at the range. I always end up with something when I'm at the range. Right, so here's the update on the hydroponics. So the basil's come up. I've always had a bit of an issue when it comes to getting the basil to germinate. Well, that's come up quite quickly. I mean, we're only 7 days in. We've got the Mizuna coming through lovely. The rocket was the first thing to come through at the back there. The lettuce is coming up, so we're going to have plenty of lettuce, and the chard. So the front one doesn't look as happy, but it is, I don't know what's going on with that. It's kind of shot out and then it's restarted, but you've got a healthier looking one at the back. But that's only 7 days, and we started to see some coming up within the first 3 to 4 days. I leave it on, so I actually turn it off at night time because I'm just concerned about having things on all night. So I actually turn it off, and I get up early anyway. Even if I'm not at work, I'm up early. So I turn it on as soon as I get up in the morning. I whack the power on button. It does its veg light, and then it does the pump circulating every 30 minutes. The pump's on and then it's off. It's not using a lot of electricity. And it's fantastic. I can see me using this a lot to germinate things ready for taking down to the allotment next spring. I've been told that peppers and chilies and tomatoes plants do really well. So this might just be something I use to germinate, get them up to ready, and then just gives me a flying head start next season. And in the meantime, during the winter, I'm going to grow a load of salad crops. I've got my Mizuna rocket lettuce. I'm going to grow some herbs, because you can have herbs on your windowsill. Sometimes I cheat, buy my coriander and stuff like that from the shops, stick it in a pot and keep it well watered, because my basil outside is not going to last much longer. My tomatoes are still going strong. I'll show you actually. So I'm just making sure that I keep these covered up. They're still putting out flower seeds. I've got loads of tomatoes still ready to ripen. I'm not in a rush to pull these off. I know a lot of people thinking with the colder weather that they need to strip them down and have green tomatoes, which they then try and work out ways to ripen them, but they're quite content on here. And then at night time, obviously I keep these well watered, and then at night time I just put the cover down on them. Got chilly evenings coming at the moment. Hello Sky, go for a walk. Kind of left the beetroot. I don't know what I was doing with it. I might pull some out now. I might boil down these beetroots so that I can use them. I've got another load there as well. Basil kind of looking a bit ropey in the background, but we've got some more growing. And these, I can't believe how well these have done this year. They're just loving it in that big pot. The last of my shallots from the allotment, and all my tomatoes which have ripened so far. These are delicious little power balls of flavour. Shah just snacks on them, he loves them. Someone gave me some advice about trimming back the leaves on the peppers I've moved into the house because they weren't happy outside. And it actually has really helped because they've put a lot of effort into these big old peppers. Look, I've got loads on this one, loads of them, all hanging out in the living room. And I've got some more jalapenos there which I can use. Some little fiery cayenne chilies there as well. Right, so they took 6 hours in total, and they're all fully dry. You can see that they're all fully dried out. I let them cool down as well fully, because one thing you don't want to do is add any warmth when you're putting them in the jar, because the slightest bit of moisture is going to result in some mould build-up. But I'm really happy with the way these have gone. So I went out with the dog after I started doing this and said we'd come back to it, and I found a load of mushrooms in the forest. I've done a little video montage of some of the interesting mushrooms I found. I'll make sure to share that at the end of this. So if you want to stick around, you can see some of them. I'm sure over the next few weeks I can probably film a load of different varieties. One of them in there looks like a penny bun, but it might be birch penny bun because it's slightly thinner on the stem, or I might be completely off. There we go, there's my jar of dried out mushrooms ready to use. Really happy with how that's turned out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's update of the allotment, dehydrator and hydroponic system. Join me next week for more stuff going on down the allotment. Probably do another batch of something different in the dehydrator, and we keep an eye on that hydroponic plants and see how much growth we get in week 2. And I'll hopefully see you in a future video. Bye bye.